Hello, my name is Cynthia, and welcome back to another light novel review. My previous one with Hell Mode will be linked in the description if you want to watch that. Now, some of you may know, the anime Campfire Cooking in Another World with My Absurd Skill, produced by Mappa, will be released soon. Coincidentally, this is also one of my top 3 favorite light novels. Originally published by Reniguchi on Shosetsuka ni Naro, the Japanese novel self-publishing website, which is actually the source of many popular manga and anime, it was eventually picked up by a publisher, and today it's a very popular light novel series, and has been adapted into a manga. It actually has a spin-off manga centered around one of the popular main characters. I'll tell you more about that later. This is going to be a spoiler-free review, so you don't need to worry about that if you want to watch the anime. However, I will be saying information that can be found from the About section of the first novel. That's about it, though. For releases, there are currently 13 Japanese light novels, with 12 officially translated into English, 9 manga volumes, with 8 officially translated into English, and 7 spin-off manga volumes with 2 translated into English. I don't know where the other 5 of those are. As I said before, there's also an anime adaptation being released by Mappa soon. There is also a drama CD, but I'm not very familiar with those, so I'm not going to say anything about that topic. As for the premise, it starts off as your relatively basic isekai, but that doesn't mean it's bad in any way. It actually rapidly improves over time by introducing new characters, subverting expectations, and it really moves away from the isekai formula. Our main character, Mukoda, is a middle-aged Japanese salaryman who is accidentally summoned in your typical teenage hero summoning. You know how those are with isekais. He eventually discovers his unique skill, Online Supermarket, a skill that allows him to buy modern Japanese goods in this new world. He intends on creating a comfortable life for himself with using this skill, but if you've seen any of the promotional material for the anime, or even some of these covers right next to me, you know he has very unique customers looking for his services. Compared to the majority of isekai, this is a bit of a unique premise, especially as it shies away from typical action elements and embraces a slice of life and cooking base. Speaking of cooking, with a title like Campfire Cooking in Another World with My Absurd Skill, you'd expect cooking to be a major part of the story. And like I just said, it definitely is. As amazing as the text describes Mukoda's food to be, you probably want to try it for yourself. Luckily, there are many, many recipes in the novels, some even going on for multiple pages. And of course it helps with the fancy ingredients are easily substitutable, novel even helps you with this. However, if you don't want to read these recipes, or if you can get tired of them after a while, I wouldn't worry about that, because there's always a page break when a recipe is over, and they rarely contain any important story information or anything important goes on. It's mostly just the recipe. It focuses entirely on describing the food and how it tastes, how he's cooking it, all that fun stuff. It's actually a really charming part of the book that adds character without obstructing anything. It really makes you feel a part of the world, and it makes you feel like you can actually even, cook with them if you want. Yeah, you stop reading midway and cook with them. Now for the characters in the world. Usually I would say a lot more about the world, but it's made fairly clear in the books that the world doesn't really matter much to the main characters. And this works fairly well. It's your typical isekai fantasy world, and it doesn't delve too much into politics or history. And there's really not any need to remember locations and such. Of course they travel around and travel through different countries, but you'll see why it doesn't really matter much, and why they don't care for it much. The locations that you need to remember, they'll point out to you, it's not really anything super... The world isn't super, hard to grasp. My only complaint about the books is honestly when it comes to the characters, and not even the characters that much, more specifically the main character Mukoda. Mukoda on his own isn't a very good character in my opinion. He doesn't grow as a character much and is honestly very plain. The books use this to their advantage to create a feeling of a regular person being strung along against his will into a crazy, insane, and dangerous situation for comedic effect, and also to move along the setting and the situations. And this works for a while, but after 12 volumes, it really feels a bit old, and I kind of want to see him adjust to a situation. I want to build off on this a little bit more, so I'm going to give a minor spoiler warning. Also put up a little thing here above me. If you don't want to hear any spoilers, the spoilers won't correlate to the anime at all, because they're way too far ahead in the books for the anime to reach. But if you want to read the books, or you want to skip ahead, just because you don't want to hear any spoilers whatsoever, click forward until you don't see that above me anymore, and then there won't be any spoilers. Now, eventually Mukoda, and this is my problem with him, he gets 4 times experience gain or something like that, and complete immunity to all damage and illness as a gift from the gods. or a bribe, kinda. Now, along with his familiar's protection, which is completely overpowered, and they literally one-shot anything, he's still afraid of anything hurting him. And it gets kind of annoying seeing him cower against every sort of enemy when he's in literally no danger whatsoever, and his familiars have already basically killed it. It kind of draws away from, you know, of course they don't want any action, but at this point, I'm 12 volumes in, about to be 13, and it's just kind of annoying seeing him still. I understand he's supposed to be like this regular average Joe, but meh, just do something, dude. You're completely immune to damage, literally. You have, and you can't get any illnesses, and you can't be. It's just eh. That was all from my personal gripe. That's the only gripe I have with the book, but you know. Anyway, no more spoilers. So welcome back to people who didn't want to hear spoilers. It's really only one of the real flaws in the book. There are a small abundance, which is an oxymoron, but anyway. There are a small abundance of characters, but any important ones are pretty easy to remember. And the main characters and the necessary secondary characters are really funny and refreshing compared to him. Like, you can obviously see the covers here. Out of context, it's not really spoilers, but all the other characters, you know, actually do something and actually matter, and, you know, they're funny, so they work. Like I said previously, this is probably my top 3 light novels. I love fantasy, RPG, isekai, I love slice of life, and I love cooking. Honestly though, looking at it objectively, not everyone will love it, especially if you're looking for action. At its heart, Campfire Cooking in Another World with My Absurd Skill is a slice of life novel with small action elements. Its main purpose is as a comedy, and that it does that wonderfully, while shaking up the usual isekai formula. So, I'm actually going to refrain from giving it a rating, because I'd probably be pretty biased. I think it's like I said before, it's not for everybody. So I do highly recommend it, especially if you want to see the upcoming anime. Especially if you like the upcoming anime too. If you want to continue after the anime ends, things like these don't get seasons fast. So if you want to continue the story, go read them. Go read the novels. I understand it's gonna cost money, but like it's money well spent, because these books actually are. I'll give them this. They're pretty long. Not like the usual light novels that are maybe 200 pages. These are usually around 250, 300. So I do highly recommend the Campfire Cooking in Another World with My Absurd Skill. I think it's funny, comedic. You get some good recipes. You know, read it to give it a chance, especially if you like the anime, like I said. Well, that was all for this light novel review. Once again, my name is Cyndi, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed.